Ladies and gentlemen, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon was a show that I was never ever excited for, and that's not even an exaggeration. I had little to no interest in this show. There was nothing compelling to me about Daryl as a character. There was nothing compelling about the idea of going to France with him. There was nothing compelling about the rumor mill that we heard for the show. And lastly, there was nothing at all compelling about the trailers for the show. But guys, oh my God, I was so wrong. This is the second spinoff in the trio of spinoffs that we're getting following the actual canon series coming to a conclusion that I'm pleasantly surprised by. And I never thought I'd say this, and I'm very happy that I am. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon was truly fantastic, and there's really no other way to put it. Guys, I'm going to try to do this without cutting. I'm going to try to do this without having anything to go back on and retract. I want to do this in more of a commentary, like a podcast or whatever, and just spit off what's going on in my head. I have no script here. I just want to talk about how much praise I have for the show. First off, as I mentioned, there's a lot of things that I didn't think were going to work with the show. Daryl not being, at least in the canon series, a strong lead was indication enough for me that the show wasn't going to be good. I felt like Daryl as a character was a perfect side character. And when they went out and tried to do Daryl as the main protagonist after Rick left the show, it didn't work for me. I didn't think it fit because stylistically, Daryl was never meant to be the leader in that term of the story. He was never meant to rule Alexandria. He was never meant to rule the hilltop or even Father, Judith, RJ, or even Carl, if Carl was still around, even though he's not. That's just not Daryl. Daryl is not the character to do that. But in this show, we really got to see more of him. We really got to understand who Daryl was in a new way that didn't feel like it was breaking any of the core foundations of who he is. And I truly appreciate the show for that. Not only that, the show was shot so well, and The Walking Dead, historically, not just The Walking Dead main series, but even like Fear the Walking Dead, even The World Beyond, and I can't believe I'm even praising anything, The World Beyond, but all of the Walking Dead shows that have came out up until now have had good cinematography, but this is on a different level. It really is funny, and I know the comparisons are going around online and all of that stuff, that it makes Dead City look like a potato, but it's true. I mean, if you look at the cinematography from this show compared to Dead City, but also compared to any other show in the entire universe, this is just in a league of its own. I mean, it truly is. And I think that's also attributed, of course, to the locations that we got. Not only did we go to what seems to be like Hogwarts or something like that, and sorry for that notification, I don't know what's going on, but not only did we go to like Hogwarts toward the end of this show, we also went to a ton of awesome places. We were in the south of France at the start. We were in freaking metros. We were in clubs. We were in, I don't know, the beach of Normandy and all sorts of other crazy spots. I don't know why I mentioned every place that is completely irrelevant outside of the geographical areas, like the Hogwarts place, the Normandy. I don't know why I saved them for later, but whatever. The point I'm trying to make is the locations that we got in this show were so good. And I think it's the only Walking Dead spinoff that went 6 for 6, or in other spinoffs or other series, franchises, this is the only show the point I'm trying to make is this is the only show that every episode in the season was a banger. There wasn't one bad episode. Sure, there was a couple that weren't as good as some of the best. That's normal. Not every episode is supposed to be perfect. But this show didn't have one truly bad episode. The worst, I would say, I think is like episode 4, if I'm not mistaken. But that needed to be kind of because it was trying to do a lot. It was trying to set things up. So I could forgive it for that. Every other episode was awesome. Every other episode, and even the worst of it wasn't bad at all, or it was just okay. It was an okay episode. There was nothing bad to say. And that's amazing. The entire run of this show, the worst complaints I've had were very, very minuscule things, like petty stuff. And if you want to see the little things that those are, they're in my reviews of the weekly episodes. Now, I will say the only things that really stand out is I feel like Madame Janae was kind of like a little bit of a Third Reich ruler, following like a similar sort of thing that Fear the Walking Dead does, where the villain just kind of sits there in all black and looks very cartoon villainy. That's the worst that I think the show had. I don't think there was truly anything else that stuck out. Usually something that does stick out in spin-off shows, or even just regular Walking Dead shows, is the children actors in the show. And I gotta say, Laurent was fantastic. He was actually one of my favorite characters in the show. And that's crazy. That's truly crazy. It comes from a world of spin-offs where we have Baby Mo, where we have everyone in the Walking Dead world beyond. Those characters, who the fuck are they? Like, seriously. Then we have all the other spin-offs and all the other main show characters like Henry, we got Carl, we got Judith, all of them. Now, I love Carl. I'm a sucker for Carl. But I think, this is crazy, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Laurent worked better as a kid than even Carl did. And I think that's attributed to the actor himself, of course. I mean, I never had a problem with Chandler Riggs, ever. I was never on that band camp. I actually liked him a lot. But it's definitely true that his acting wasn't the strongest. Laurent's actor's acting, whose name I truly don't know, because again, going into this with no script, no anything, it's just fresh on my mind. That kid actor was awesome, like truly awesome. I think he portrayed Laurent perfectly. He never came across annoying. And when there were like kind of annoying circumstances with him, they weren't because of him. They were because of kind of weird writing tropes like him being the Messiah or whatever. But he never portrayed that. He just came across like a really just good kid. That's honestly what it felt like. I loved everything we got with him. I loved his dynamic with Daryl. And I even like the fact that we were exposed to the fact that he was sheltered. So he never really had experiences that other kids may have had in the apocalypse, leading to those really immature moments where they're like, I'm going to do this myself, like stupid shit like that. We never really had that with Laurent. The worst we had with it was him like trying to defend Daryl and things like that, but it was fitting. It never felt cheesy. It never felt uncomfortable. It felt right for the story and right for the character. It really did. And that's amazing to see for a kid actor. And that's not the only character. And how many times can I say character and actor in one sentence, whatever. But that's not the only character that's original to this series that I really liked. Because Isabelle quickly became one of my favorite characters in the Walking Dead universe. Overall, I really like Isabelle. I like her for a lot of reasons. I think she's a very complex character. I think she works well with Daryl. I think out of all of the shipping that we've got with characters with Daryl, like Connie and even Carol, for some reason, I feel like Isabelle is the most fluid and just like fits. The camaraderie works here. It never really worked for Connie for me. Like, I'll be honest with you, and I gotta say this. I know this is a video about Daryl Dixon, but I gotta say this here. I don't understand for the life of me who thinks that Connie and Daryl work. I don't think they have on-screen chemistry at all. It feels very shipped. Like, it doesn't feel real. It just feels like fan service, and I don't like it. I genuinely don't understand how you like it. If you do, let me know your argument for that in the comments. I'm not going to fight you or anything. I'm just saying, I never understood it. I don't think it works. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. And the other one is Carol. Carol and Daryl truly have a good bond, but it goes so much more deep than sexual love or whatever. It's just familial love for the two of them. They're more like brother and sister. And yeah, I could see them getting together. Sure, yeah. But also I can't, because I think their relationship just extends past love on that sort of level, and it's familial love. And that's why I love the two of them together. So will I ever think that they'd make a couple? Maybe. But do I think that they work as the partnering that they are? Absolutely. And I love that about Daryl and Carol. I truly do. But Isabelle just is in a different league. I don't know why. There's not much words I could say to quantify that. It's just something about their chemistry works really well together. I think they're both very strong characters. I think Isabelle was just all around kind of badass. The idea of a nun was kind of badass. And I'm not going to lie, when I heard about the rumors for the show, before there was a trailer, before there was anything, and there was just light rumors about the synopsis for the show, and we heard that this was what it was supposed to be about, I had no interest in the idea of like a badass nun escorting Daryl throughout Paris. No interest. But now having seen it, my God, Isabelle is fantastic. Like, truly fantastic. And even the other characters in the show, like Quinn was great. I had no issues whatsoever with Quinn at all. I liked him. He didn't feel cheesy. His little posse of people never felt cheesy to me. They felt pretty normal. The worst of the cheesiness that it got was them kidnapping Laurent and like doing a whole cat and mouse sort of thing. That's the worst. And even with that, that's not that bad. We could deal with it. Whatever. The other characters, I'm still not in love with, and I don't know. I never ever found out the guy's name with the tattoo. Go ahead, ridicule me down in the comments. I don't care. I honestly don't know his name, but the dude with the tattoo who looks like he's from the Inglourious Bastards or look like he's like from, what's his name? Patrick Dempsey or whatever his name is from Zombies. Patrick Dempsey, Jack whatever the name is, Dempsey from Zombies. Like, that's what he looks like, I think. I don't know. Whatever his name is, I liked him, but I didn't really like Madame Janae, and not because obviously she's the villain, so I'm supposed to not like her, but because she was just like cartoon villainy to me. And again, that's what I said earlier. That's the only problem I had with this season. That's it. That's it. All the characters were great. Again, Tattooed Face Man, I don't remember his name, but I liked him a lot. I liked everything we saw there. Even the fact that he had this kind of goofy to me plot twist where out of nowhere he became like, I guess, a good guy because he didn't want to kill Laurent at the end, even though that felt very quick. I still liked it because I feel like there's a lot of story to tell with him. He seems like a very complex character. I'm interested to see what they do with him in later seasons and all of that stuff. But yeah, that's it as far as the characters are concerned. The other thing I want to talk about is the variant zombies. I don't know if they're variant zombies, to be honest with you. I think they're just zombies on Despicable Me drugs. I've been saying that in all my reviews, but legitimately, these zombies that are amped up on the needle or whatever, they literally remind me of the purple minions from Despicable Me 2. Like no joke. That's all I thought about the whole time. You could go watch. I've talked about it since they were introduced, but genuinely, that's all I think about. Or the fact that they were like pack-a-punched. I don't know how else to describe them, but I think they're funny, and they added this really great dynamic into the show that we've never seen in The Walking Dead. The stakes became high in a new way, and I liked that. And I liked that it wasn't just this like, oh, we heard rumblings about all these variant walkers, like what we got from Aaron in season 11. I like that this was like people experimenting on zombies and making them more of like an army. I love the idea of that. I think it just works so well. The stakes become higher. The threat and why they're doing that becomes higher. It adds really good elements to the story and feels, honestly, outside of the cartoon villain stuff that I'm talking about, it feels natural and it's fun to watch. It really is. And again, that goes back to what I'm saying with the cartoon villain stuff. Even though I don't love that, here, just for some reason, it works well. And it's just fun to watch. It really is. It's fun to watch. Goddamn. Like, I never thought I'd have this much praise to say about the Daryl Dixon show. You guys know, among all people, I've been very, very critical of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon specifically. You could go back on my videos. I've hated on this show, the idea of it at least before I saw it. And now I'm one of its biggest advocates. And I was a big advocate of Dead City. I thought that show was great, like truly great. But this show is just leagues above that show. Truly is. It feels so different. It feels so much better. The quality is there. I think the direction is just stronger in this show. Okay, I'm going to say it. This is the best spin-off we've got so far in the Walking Dead universe. Now, I know some people will say that Fear the Walking Dead has an amazing first 3 seasons. I genuinely agree with that. But they didn't come out swinging as hard as Daryl Dixon did. Not at all. Like, yeah, the story premise was great. The premise with Madison, the premise with all of that was fun to watch, and I truly enjoyed it. But something was just so compelling about Daryl Dixon. It's one of those things that I can't quantify in words. Not that this is like magical or I'm like fangirling or whatever. None of that. It's just something about this is unquantifiable as far as why it worked so well. Just, it was kind of electric. Everything worked for me. Now, is this the next Sopranos? Is this the next Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones before season 7? No, it's not. But this is the best Walking Dead has to offer in at least, I don't know, 5-6 years, maybe more. This is by far the best that we've seen in a long time. The quality's there again, and it's great to see. Again, and I just said it, this doesn't, to me, stack up as a show that I would consider, at least so far, the best shows I've ever seen. But it is up there for The Walking Dead. I'd argue that this season was one of the best Walking Dead seasons we've ever seen. I'm not going to put it in the same levels as season 4 and season 5 of the main show. Before you get your pitchforks in the comments, I'm not going to do that, but it at least feels like similar quality to that, just in a different way. Yeah, if I were to rate this on a tier maker list of all the seasons of The Walking Dead, like with all the spin-offs in there and stuff, this would probably go in S tier, maybe high A tier, but it's one or the other. I really genuinely enjoyed it that much. I'm not going to lie. I think this show has just really knocked it out of the park. I can't wait for season 2. I can't wait to see what they do with Carol. And again, for some reason, these spin-off shows do not have the best advertising because the trailer for the Daryl Dixon, what's it called? The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Book of Carol. I don't know why that name is so absolutely ridiculous. But for some reason, the trailers for that look really bad. I'm not going to lie. And it's not because, like, I don't know why. I don't think they look good. But that's been the case for all the spinoffs. I didn't think Dead City's trailers or teasers looked good either. I thought Daryl Dixon's looked really cheesy, to be honest with you. Even the ones who live, so far, the teasers we've got look cheesy to me. But for some reason, Fear the Walking Dead's trailers are way better than the show. Well, go figure. But I like that. It's actually kind of funny. The worst spinoff has the best trailers, and the best spinoffs have the worst trailers. That's pretty interesting, but whatever. I'm very excited. Just knowing that the advertisements for this show didn't lead up to how strong this show actually was. Going off of that, I'm really excited for season 2, and knowing that the creative direction is all the same in season 2 and they filmed it like right after season 1, I have a strong feeling that season 2 is going to be good. I don't want to hold out too much hope. I don't want to hold my breath because this is the Walking Dead universe overall, which has had some real wet farts, Like, I'm not going to hold my breath. But I have a feeling it's going to be pretty good, especially with Carol back and that connective tissue to the main franchise. Man, I'm looking forward to it. I loved this show. If I had to rate this season, I don't believe in giving 10s out of 10s. I don't, but I'm not going to lie. It's pretty close. I'm going to give this show like a 9.5 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. And with all that out of the way, I'd love to have your thoughts down there in the comments. Let's be respectful. And yeah, did you like it? Did you hate it? Blah, blah, blah. All the stuff down there. Let's start a healthy conversation. And with that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching this video. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.